I have always tried to make my striking technique as perfect as possible, knowing that perfect technique makes it very difficult for our opponent to KO us. But there are a couple common mistakes that everybody makes, but the more you can minimize these mistakes, the better off you will be. If you are looking to enter 2026 training like a champion and bump your skill level very quick, be sure to grab my training program Edge, where there are 36 one-hour follow-along training sessions that will not only improve your technique, but also your cardio. These follow-along sessions are going to push you to your limit, but also have little moments within the workouts where we focus on how to get better footwork, better defense, and so many other aspects. Right now you can save $50 for a limited time. Now, we want to look at some of the common mistakes that happen in the fight world, and most of us know we shouldn't make these, but we still do, time and time and time again. How do I know that people are making these mistakes, that everybody makes them? Because you only need to look at the highest level fighters. Watch 2 or 3 of their fights and you're gonna see these pop up. And if you can eliminate these, if you could be the perfect fighter when executing strikes, you would be so incredibly good. Mistake number 1 is maintaining a tight stomach as you execute a technique. And this is something that I discovered through talking with others, that people forget to maintain a tight stomach as they throw. They think, okay, I'm throwing and registering that the stomach needs to lock up. It doesn't really enter their mind, apparently. But how many times have we seen people walk forward with punches and the person on the other side blasts in a knee and they drop? But other times in the fight, you'll see them take a full power round kick or a full power body shot and no problem. The difference is they're on the attack. When you're on the attack, your stomach loosens up and then you get hit, people fold. So if you can lock your stomach up as you throw, you're never gonna get dropped with a body shot, in my opinion. And this is my opinion because I lock up my stomach in my fights as I throw and I've never been dropped. Never once to the body, not even close to being dropped in all my sparring rounds, thousands, and all my fights, 50 plus. The next super common mistake that we want to avoid is as we throw our hand, this other one drops. And I know so many people like probably rolling their eyes like, yeah, I know, Gabriel, I know. We've been told that since the first day, but look at the best fighters. Look at somebody like Giorgio Petrosian. In my opinion, one of the greatest kickboxers ever. Only had, I think, 2 losses, both by massive KO. And if you watch what happens, his hand happens to drop just a little bit and he gets clipped. All the other times in his career, he's so diligent on staying in this position. And then you drop for just a second. And at that time, it's just when this person throws a kick and then like Superbond knocks him out. 1 split second in judgment error, technical error, and you're out. So the more you can drill this hand touching, this hand touching, this hand touching, hand touching the head, the more you can be obsessive about it, the better off you're going to be. Have I been perfect on this? No, absolutely not. There are fights where I have my hand down here instead of up here and I get tagged for it. But because I have drilled this so many times, there's also been far more times where I've thrown a shot, my hand has been here and I didn't see something coming, it hits me, I'm like, oh, I'm glad that hand was up. Now, technique follow through, particularly on a cross or a jab, but really the cross. This could also come into other punches as well, but people throwing their shot and not rechambering right back, throwing and it kind of loops down. It loops down. This is something that's terrible. It leaves you so compromised on this side for far too long. And even if you have this other hand posted up to your head, you're gonna be so exposed over here as opposed to a proper one where we come out, the shoulder's protecting us, then we pull straight back, the arm's protecting us, then now the hand's protecting us at the end. The more you can be straight on your returns as opposed to looping down, which is very common for beginners, but does happen with the pro fighters, especially when they're trying to put 100% effort into their punches. But the more we can eliminate this, the safer we will be. And while many of you are not going to be stepping in the ring and fighting as a pro, we do want to avoid getting battered around in the gym. And that right there is such a safe way to keep yourself from taking impact. The last mistake that I notice people making, which is just, oh, no good, is executing kicks with a minimal pivot. I'm going to show you why, yes, in some ways this works, but most of the time it does not. If I'm standing at this range, right at punching range, and I go to execute a kick with a good pivot, I get almost right up to my knee, which means that's not my range. My range is back here, which is great, because it means I can't get countered with a punch. That's with my pivot. If I don't pivot, I have to then move closer. So if you start throwing kicks even with a slight pivot, and you're like, yeah, I'm landing perfectly, you're within that punch range because you're too close. And that puts you in this position where if the person across from you as you kick blasts in a punch, they can hit you. And if you're at that range where you're on one foot, you're gonna get knocked down. It might not be a knockdown where you're disoriented, but you're still gonna get knocked down, and judges will look at that and be like, oh, yeah, okay, we're gonna score that a 10-8 round. Same on the front kicks. If I do not pivot, look at how close I have to be. But if I take that little step back and now I execute my pivot, oh, this is something that makes a massive difference in how safe can you be as you execute these kicks. And I always like to have at least a 90-degree pivot. That for me opens up the distance from way back here to being able to follow through dramatically. Look at that range change by just taking that heel and shifting it from here to here. Holy smokes, that is so much. So not doing that is going to put you in that counter zone, and we do not want to be there. So there are 4 massive mistakes that if you can eliminate and make your technique as perfect as possible, it's going to benefit you so much. And while we can't be perfect all the time, we can really strive for that perfection to minimize the times we make those errors. That's it, guys. Thanks for joining.